Victor, it's Throat Punch Thursday.
No,
Yes,
no.
I know you hate that term.
Because it's
And
visually, it's visually disturbing to hit somebody in the throat.
Some of the HR folks down here hate it, but you're stuck with it for as long as I'm here.
It's like hitting somebody.
That's how I feel about the competition. We want to punch them in the throat, cut their livers out, because there's not enough business to go around. So when we finish this call, get back to punching some throats. How about that?
I mean, I can just see them squirming on the floor because you hit them in the throat.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
then you're going to cut their liver.
Oh, yeah, you just cut their liver
There's
out.
There's
not enough business to go around. If you've heard that, tell whoever you're talking to. That doesn't make any sense.
All right, man. All right.
We want all the business that we want.
I got
fair
you.
enough?
I got you. Okay, fair enough.
All right.
Fair
in
enough.
the chat, nobody's playing along. A couple people are playing along.
All right.
In the chat, we're looking. Today is National Hazy IPA Day.
Yep.
And I know you hate when I pull up these national days.
Yeah.
But I do it just to kind of stir the chat up.
Oh yeah, I do. My favorite is Sweetwater. I like Sweetwater IPA.
Sweetwater's a good one to pick because you know what Sweetwater is? They're a customer. This is crazy.
Okay.
Like 10 years ago or 12 years ago when I first came down to Atlanta,
Yeah.
I made a bet with the guy because we used to bring people to the they do those
Yeah.
events all the time down there
Right.
with the bands and stuff. We used to bring people into those, and I said, "Why aren't they a customer?" And they said, "If you make them a customer,
Right.
I'll do you solid. I will bring the whole team, the whole service team,
Right.
down there on a Saturday afternoon to Sweetwater to one of these celebrations that they
Nice.
do. I'll pick up the tab.
Okay.
I'll pay for the Ubers. I paid for the Ubers.
Okay.
And away we went. And they sold it. They're still a customer to this day.
Nice.
And as you know, they've just exploded.
Who's the account manager here in Georgia for Sweetwater? Do we have one?
No,
Anybody here?
It's now a house account now.
No.
Yeah. I mean,
So who's the head of the house account? Who's the head of the account?
it's in the branch right now. The salesman that sold it has moved on. He's in a
Okay.
different region.
Right.
He got promoted and
Okay.
he's
I'm,
off.
I'm trying to find a connection here so I can get some free IPAs.
You want some free IPAs?
That's
They
what
do
I
have
want.
great beer, though. They do have great beer.
It's a great beer.
I'm a fan of the Voodoo Rangers, the
That
hazy
is a good
IPA,
one.
the
That's a
juicy
good one.
Yeah.
The
Sierra Nevada
Two-Hearted-
is a good one.
Two-Hearted that's a good one. That's a hearty one.
Maui Wowie, Kona Big Pig Wave is good as well. Absolutely, some good ones in there. But
Maui Wowie.
yeah, that's a good one.
If you really, I don't think I've ever tried that.
Wait a second. Who put Genesee Union? That's
him.
Tarantella. Genesee. Drank
Why
plenty
do
of
we-
Genesee back in
why
the
do we
day.
let- why do we- can we
Three
just
Floyds,
kick-
Zombie
Can
Dust.
we just kick him off the?
Can we boot him from
Yeah,
this
can
broadcast?
just boot. Hey, Stormy, can you boot Tarantella
We
off?
got Jeff Steele
Yeah.
on there. We need Jeff there. He's a heck of a lot more important than
Three
Tim.
Floyds, Zombie Dust.
Three
What?
Floyds.
I've never heard of that.
No, I think it's in Michigan, right? Steven, post that in there.
Okay, I'm gonna put that under the coolest names I've ever heard for an IPA.
Like my son went to Notre Dame, right? And that's his favorite brewery. All
Three
that Three
Floyds.
Floyd stuff is incredible.
So who are the Three Floyds?
I don't know.
Okay.
Ask Steven.
All right.
He's the
Munster-
Michiganer.
Munster,
Indiana. Okay, there you go.
Never heard of that one at all.
That makes sense. Munster cheese.
Man, yeah.
What else is happening? What have you been doing?
Well, this month I've been actually taking it easy.
Okay.
So spending
You
time with
always take it easy.
spending time with the granddaughter. No, next month it's like
It's on.
Yeah. I got like 5 big events. I'll be in Colorado.
You will be.
I will
Don't be talking about
You'll
that.
be in
but you will
Colorado,
be in
so
Colorado.
I got about 5 or 6 events next month. So it's gonna be a busy month.
Sweet.
So we'll have to
Sweet.
figure out some dates that we can still do this broadcast because
Yeah,
I'm busy. I got things to do.
I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, we got to figure that out before you leave here
Yeah,
today.
absolutely. Yourself?
Last 3 weeks, I think I've been in 9 or 10 different branches throughout the country, traveling around.
Do you call it a listening tour?
No, I just call it. I call it observation. I just go. I don't do much talking.
It's listening tour.
I had a great sales meeting up in Columbus. There's 2 branches in the Columbus market, soon to be 3. Stephen
Okay.
Genther's going to split that thing out again.
Okay.
That's how fast they're growing.
Wow.
But I had a chance to sit with both the branch managers and all the salespeople, and just had the regular morning meeting. And Austin Thurman did a phenomenal job. The branch manager, they're holding the meeting.
Okay.
And it's just good to get out and mix
Nice.
and mingle.
Yep.
I bumped into Ben Autry, who we'll talk about in a little bit. but
Yeah.
Down in Cincinnati. Young kid, he comes walking in. He's all buttoned up. He's looking good. I'm loving
Okay.
it. You know me
Okay.
with the uniform,
Yeah.
right? He's all buttoned up. His
Just
tie's
vibing
up
with the
tight.
guy.
He had no idea I was coming,
Okay.
so it wasn't like he was set up that,
Right.
hey, come put your tie on. My man walked in. He'd been here 3 or 4 months, right? And I said, how you doing, Bubba? He goes, Victor, he did this. Very humble kid.
Yeah.
He points over his shoulder. He goes, I look over his shoulder. There's a plaque. He said, that's my first month in sales. He sold $150,000 his
Nice.
first month in sales.
Nice.
And I said, well, how much did you get paid on? He said, well, I got paid on like 70. So, Stephen, we need more help in Cincinnati so we can get that kid's work done so we can get paid on all that business he's selling.
He goes, in Cincy right now, just saw him this morning.
Oh,
he
there you
says.
go.
All right.
Yeah.
So he's all buttoned up, selling nicely.
Yeah.
I love it.
So as I'm there, I'm not going to pass the challenge. I see this young kid and I'm thinking like way back when into the Stone Age when I started. I'm like,
Yeah.
I kind of maybe
'Cause he's
resembled
buttoned
that.
up.
Yeah, because he looked good. He's a young kid, right?
By the way, can I ask you?
What behind the ears?
Can you tell your buttoned-up story on the weekend, or do you want to tell the story?
No.
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 All right, because I love that buttoned-up story.
No, so I made him a bet. I said, hey, dude, you go out there. If you, my deal is 10 grand a day can fix anything. You can fix any month with 10 grand a day. Just go sell 10 grand a day and life will be fine. So I said,
By the way, put that on the shirt. 10 grand a day.
10 grand a day. Maybe stamp it on my forehead. But I said, sell 10 grand a day. I'll give you a $200 Amazon gift card. His eyes light up.
Wow.
So
you actually offered $200.
Yeah, don't say.
Yeah, okay. I'm just saying.
But so
it's a rare occasion.
So I'm watching their group me. I'm waiting for the post, right?
Uh-huh.
He said, I'm going to go get it. He charged. I mean, he's like running out the door.
Yeah.
And he didn't get it that day. So I thought, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shucks. He didn't get it. So the next day I see the post.
Right.
Like early in the morning, he posts like a $14,000 bundle, right? Racked.
Right.
Had to be racked.
Had to be
or I
racked.
wasn't paying.
Okay.
Had to be racked. So I shoot him a note. I said, Ben, I'm going to pay it off anyway.
Okay.
You made the sale.
Nice.
So he shoots me back, the little smart aleck. He shoots me back. He said, well, I did propose it yesterday.
Okay.
I said, so even Steven sent the gift card that day. Actually gave him
Wow.
one of the sales Bibles. I wrote a little note in before I
Even
left
a
that
book on top of the $200.
I got him a book before he sold
boy,
that
you were
big
feeling
deal.
very Santa Claus.
But no, so I've had a great time driving around these branches and hanging out with our people.
Anything interesting besides that? Anything new discovery or anything?
I don't think there's a new discovery. I think that, and I'll share this, and I've shared this all the time with people I'm talking to. I've been here since 1983 as a termite salesman, and there has never been a better time to be in Orkin land, particularly as a salesperson, than there is today. I don't know if it's the golden age of Orkin. Orkin's going to be 125 years old next year, but I know over the last 42 years, this is the absolute best time to be in sales.
Nice.
Here. It's so good
Love
luck
it.
to all of you. Just keep
Love
after
it.
it.
Let me see
Keep
who we
after
got
it.
out there. We got Gary Rojas looking serious. Got the
Mike
baseball cap
McKenzie's
going,
in the house with the
lining
new
it up.
background.
Dude, you got to bend the cap, man. Come on, put that little fold in that
Sweet.
cap, man. Come on, make it look like a baseball cap.
Rodney made it home. Rodney was down here coaching up the agents
Carson
yesterday.
Bird's got the cap also. What is this, cap day? I love that.
There's Ben
You got
Dietz.
Joe Peltz over there with his cap.
Ben
looking
Dietz, one
fly.
of your Chicago brethren, is
Yeah.
in there. He's in the house.
Now, like Thomas,
a lot of camera
Thomas,
shots.
I see you with the hat, man. Holy buckets, everybody. Greg's got a hat on. Greg's in the car riding with somebody. He's like shotgunning. Look at this guy.
Awesome.
I like Greg. Already.
Where's Greg?
Just
I
shotgun.
see him now. I see him.
Hey,
now.
Matt.
I
It'll
can't
be
even
okay,
keep up
Matt.
with you. You're going
Matt,
so
it'll be
fast.
okay, Matt, brother. It'll be
Sergio
okay.
Vargas. Looks like he's disinterested. Sergio, come on, smile for us, man. Let us know you're there, baby. Good deal.
Who's
Good deal.
T. Bertram? What's the first name?
Tracy.
Is that Tracy?
Yeah, she's
Tracy?
one of them rock
Tracy
stars.
B? All
She's
right.
one of them rock stars out the call center.
Is she? Is she
We're not
killing
out.
it?
There's no out the call center anymore. She's out. She's in her house.
Is she on the list?
No,
Is she?
she's a manager.
Oh, she's a
a
manager.
big shot. She's a big shot.
Oh,
now.
oh,
She used to
I-
be an agent, but now she's
My
a big
bad.
shot. All right,
My bad.
let's
Okay, let's go.
Oh, Troy Fox said he received.
Jorge, we see you. I don't know if you're waving to us. Jorge, we're waving back. Jorge's just talking smack to somebody. Look,
Amen.
he's just like, yo, what's up?
My friend. Yeah, I'm getting kind of melancholy because I don't have much time here left, right? But my friend, he's not on camera.
Wait a minute. I'm getting kind of melancholy. I don't have much time.
Well, yeah, I'm going to
That
be
sounds
leaving
a little.
here.
Come on, no, that's kind of
But
depressing.
the guy that hired me on October 3rd, 1983 is on this call. He's
Who's
one of
that?
our franchise owners, Chuck Self. So once again, Mr. Self, I appreciate the hell out of you
Chuck.
for giving a young kid a chance. So
Wow, Chuck.
we'll leave it go there, baby.
So that's
We'll
who we
leave it go.
blame.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's
who
who you blame.
Yeah,
That's who probably they blame.
All right.
They
Cool.
They
Hey,
thought
I see B. Worth, man. He doesn't even want to sit down. He just wants to stand up. Yeah, hopefully.
B. Worth, I've shared this before. I got one of these termite sales guys that's related to me, but B. Worth may be my favorite termite salesman. And
Is
I don't
he?
care about
I don't know. We'll look at his
showing
numbers.
favoritism, but we're just going to leave it at that.
I
Fair
don't know.
enough.
We'll see his numbers.
All right.
We'll see the numbers.
All right, let's get after it. Let's talk about numbers. So let's
Okay.
come over here, Storm, and let's talk about residential pest control sales for the month of July, and then catch you up year to date. So here we go. OC3 in the month of July had a 14% year-over-year increase. Folks, out at the call center or out at the call center around the country, they are slaying it, and they've been on a run this year that's just incredible. They're just getting after it, and you got Tracy, I saw Jeff Steele, I saw Tarantello, all those folks are on the call. They are slaying it. The other thing I would share with you is that Rodney's on the broadcast here. Yesterday, our new branch managers, they're here. You've seen them walking around.
Right.
I'm going to go talk to them at 1 o'clock and share some sales ideas with them at 1 o'clock. But they're about to graduate. And yesterday, they had the experience that I think is one of the biggest takeaways they have when they come down here for that final 7 days of training before they get blessed and anointed and sent on their way to run branches.
Right.
They sidecarred with Tim and Jeff's and Tracy's and Rodney's agents. And Rodney, he's back up in Michigan now, so he must have got a flight out of here last night.
I never heard that phrase till you mentioned it. It's
sidecar?
sidecar.
Yeah.
The whole so it's just listening in on another call.
Yeah. What it does for the branch managers that have the opportunity to do that is they actually hear the whole interaction, right?
Yeah.
So they sit next to the agents and they put earbuds in and they can hear the whole conversation, and they watch the agents go through the sales process or go through the service process, right? You know, customers calling in for extra services or complaints and all. So they get the whole thing, and to a man and to a woman, they come away from there like, whoa.
Yeah.
These folks got game.
Right.
I mean, this is amazing that you can take 8 minutes and convince somebody to give you $1,200.
Right.
And
then you get an idea of their flow, what they say, their cadence, the whole bit. Yeah.
And I'm sitting there, between the commercial broadcast yesterday, you and I were both walking around back there, and I'm standing there and I'm talking to Rodney about it, and I'm listening to this Nina just rip it. I mean, I'm like, oh my God, that's like textbook sales, right?
Nice.
Over the phone, bundles this thing up, $1,200 later, and she gets done. I give her a little high five. I said, how long have you been here? She said, Mr. Donahue, I just started like 2 months ago. And of course, you know who took credit? Rodney.
Rodney
said, I trained her.
Okay.
I trained her.
I thought for sure Tim would take credit for
Tim
that.
Tim wasn't in the room that time, or he would have. But not just the experience. And if you're a branch manager on the call and you haven't brought an agent or some of Tim's team in to kind of walk through it, to walk through the process and let your pros listen to the calls, you'll be blown away by what they do.
Amazing.
And millions and millions of calls.
You mentioned some of those recordings are available, right?
They can get, if they just reach out to Tim or Jeff or anybody, April, all of them
I would
out
listen
there.
to some of those scripts.
Just if your pros are complaining, because most of the time what happens is you get that one sale that gets out there that's sloppy, right? Something happened wrong, or the customer misinterpreted everything we said, even though it's recorded and they did everything right.
Right.
You know, the call center gets a bad rap, but when you sit in the seat, you come away like, holy smokes.
It's not
These
easy.
Cats are talented, and it's not easy.
Not easy.
I encourage you to do that. You know, Rodney says Nina's 5 for 5 today.
Beast
5
mode.
calls, 5 closes.
Beast mode.
5 closes.
And
again, kind of contributing. Let's get back to the numbers. We got way off track there, but I thought that was worth sharing. The field residential PC sales, we're flat to last year. We're running that running that even year to date, just flat, just kind of blah, just kind of hanging in there. We need more sales from our pros, and we need more sales from you folks. The folks that are out there chasing these big termite bundles, throw a little mosquito into the gig, help us out. Sell a little one-time, sell a little rodent remediation, sell all that kind of stuff and get after that. We need more pest control sales. We need that recurring revenue base. Month to date for residential PC sales, 9.5.7% increase over last year.
Nice. Call it 10.
I'm going to use Gary Hubbard's math and call it 10. So 10% increase for the total company.
Love it.
Year to date, we're sitting about 8.5% of pest control sales increase year over year, which is just outstanding.
Right.
Far, pacing well ahead of last
numbers,
year.
yeah.
And right on plan actually as well. Again, the call center is up 12.4%, and the field's kind of flat. So we got to fix that. One bright note on the mosquito sales. $62 million, folks, in the first 7 months of the year have been sold in mosquito sales. Yeah, that's the size of like a top 100 pest control company.
That's a big company.
Right?
That's a big company.
18% year-over-year increase. Most of that, again, is being generated by the folks in the call center by launching that bundle coming out of the gates. The real meat and potatoes that these folks focus on mostly are the termite sales related. And let's talk about those. I want to just say we had kind of a month in July, right? I don't know. I mean, it's just certainly not up to
I love the way you motivate people. Go ahead.
Well, it's certainly not up to the standards that they have typically been delivering. Our traditional termite sales for the month of July, company-wide, up 8.1%. Our termite bait sales up 9.6%, which is a nice lift over what we did last year, and have been tracking to do that really well. Our ancillary slipped quite a bit last month. It slipped quite a bit. Victor, we ran a 9.8% increase in ancillary sales in the month of July. But that is a decline. Typically we're in that 18 to 20% range.
Right.
Month to date, we were at 9.56% in termite sales.
Right.
So I'm going to round up and call that 10. So double-digit increases across the board.
Nice.
With I think in my mind, and I think in your minds as well, a bit of a miss in the ancillary side because we have been clocking that. Year to date, we are sitting at 4% increase in traditional, 5% increase in bait sales, 17% increase in ancillary. So there's that 17 to where we came in at 10 in July. Total year-to-date termite sales for the company, 11.7% increase over last year.
Nice.
We talk about this all the time. You don't see these numbers as you
You
talk
don't.
to other companies.
Yeah.
It's just incredible.
Yeah, like I said, every company, I shouldn't say every company, I'll say 9 out of 10 companies, easy.
Yeah.
If they could be flat,
Yeah.
they'd be happy.
Yeah.
But they're not seeing that. They're seeing declining sales. You guys are just amazing. It's just incredible numbers, Ed.
It just keeps coming. What y'all are
Yeah.
doing is just spectacular. You need to understand that and,
Yeah.
and recognize that. You're part of a machine that just rocking it. To the tune of $257 million in termite sales in the month of July. So I'm sitting around, you know me, I get bored to tears. I sit in the hotel room, I don't turn the TV on,
Yeah.
I just craft some messages to y'all. I did the math, Victor.
That's a lot of money.
I took the 257 in
Yeah,
sales
yeah.
and I said, what's that look like in commission? So I just used the simple 14% to figure out what that was. For 7 months of this year, we have paid out over $36 million in commissions to 1,100 HSIs. Nice. That's like $37,000 a piece.
That's a lot of money. By the way, your number's a little off. It's, what was it, 30 what?
37.
It's like $37,200,000.
Get out of here.
With the little card you throw in, just like
I'm rounding up, I'm rounding down. No, just incredible performance. I want to share we're going to share the scoreboard next to tell you the individual performers that got paid on $100,000. But before I do that, I always share these numbers with Pat. You know, Pat C., our president. He's the guy that really kind of launched that whole bundle thing when he was the region manager down in Tennessee and really started to develop that culture. He was that guy, that video. You've seen that video where how to start a movement. Yeah. Where he takes the guy takes the shirt off.
The second guy.
And then the most important person maybe isn't that first guy, which was Pat, but it's all the first followers and all those in between. So
that's a great analogy, by the way.
Yeah. So I shared the numbers. We were sitting there last night. He was not having a great day because the profit wasn't there.
Right.
We'll let that slide for now. We were kind of commiserating about the profit performance in July, but we'll turn that around. But we were going over the list, and he said, man, I remember the very first guy, and it was Jason Sire in 2007 was the very first guy to get paid on $100,000. And now we have 56 folks get paid on $100,000.
18 years later, wow.
We have like 5 or 6 folks, Victor, within their first 3 months of working here on this list.
Nice.
It's just incredible. So what should we do? Should we serve up the top 100K club for the month?
Serve it up.
Serve it up.
Game, set, match.
Monster numbers. Monster numbers.
Are you kidding me? I mean, come on.
By the way, you see who's number one? You see who's number one?
Yeah, what story are you what lie are you gonna tell about Tim being number one?
Nick Keekins became like number one after our podcast interview. And it's like, after we commiserated, I'm just telling you, he had the Victor flow after that.
You are so full of it.
I tell you.
Take credit for that guy. I mean, 261,000.
By the way, can I just suggest people go view that podcast again?
Absolutely.
It's a great podcast on rack. I mean, like, if you haven't listened to the podcast or watched it, check it out. But
it's out there on my YouTube channel. And the one that really cracks me up about it is that I loved when you asked him the line, on the broadcast.
That was embarrassing.
Well, Nick, how much did your sales increase when you started using rack? And he looked at Victor like he had 3 eyes or three something, 3 heads. And you're like, what are you talking about? And he had no idea what he was talking about because he grew up working in this business for Cliff Brown.
Yeah.
And folks, you can't work, who's now promoted to region manager in Chicago.
Okay.
You can't work for Cliff Brown and his region up there
Yeah.
and not use rack. I mean, Ben Dietz is an example of that too. I mean, they're sending the whole team to Vail for the trip.
Yep.
A bunch of their teams going.
They're
Sam
racked
Boo, Ben.
But I did tell you that afterwards, he thought I was asking a trick question.
How about
and
that?
And I go, I just didn't know.
How about that?
And so, yeah, anyway,
Because
it was an
folks,
embarrassing moment.
He never knew anything different
Than rack.
rack. That's the way he was taught. So if you're not raising your folks to pitch rack only, just take it from Nick Higgins. But look at this list, man. I mean, all the usual suspects. You know, the couple cats over in Permatree. Carson Ward is still leading the way year to date for the company and in the President's Club run. But what I want to point out are like a whole bunch of new names for me, like Isaac Castillo, Eli Rogers, Caleb Coons, Jamie Evans, Marshall Jackson. Hassan's dad's back on the list.
Bonifacio.
Hassan Corpaz, our back-to-back Chairman's Club winner, convinced his dad to come here, and he's throwing up $100,000
That's amazing,
months.
by the way. That's like a family thing right there. I love that.
And his brother does the same thing. Nick Carpenter. I mean, just crazy good names, man. And again, all over the country, I keep talking about this all the time. It's never the land. It's always the man. And I will point out Sam Barrier out of Fort Myers, Florida. So this dude's really unique. I think he's like a traveling nomad, right? I think he's like a gypsy.
Okay.
Because he has sold $100,000 in 4 different regions in all sections of the country.
Really?
You know, maybe Mike, you can convince him to come out to California next, because he's done it in North Carolina, he's done it in Florida, and he did it in Texas. You know, we just got to get him out to the Pacific Division, and maybe he'll have the trifecta with doing it in every division.
I don't think that's a quinfecta, whatever quin.
Yeah, whatever
it's a quin something.
Why you check my math all the time?
I'm sorry.
You're too smart for me.
By the way, so we got Bubba Valentine back in there.
Bubba's always there.
Oh, there she is, Lindsay Dudlon.
Yeah, I mean, amen.
I like her.
Amen.
Yeah, great
Amen.
numbers. Shantez Watts. Who else is on here?
Crazy good numbers.
How about Anthony? Can we say that? You say the last name. Scanda.
I saw
Scandaliato.
BB posted in there. BB, give him a heads up.
Okay.
BB's back in the library, but he gave him a heads up. So, I mean, I can't even pronounce the city he's from.
Yeah, he's from
California.
Tacoma. Oh.
How do you pronounce
it? BB said, Victor, you owe the West Coast a shout out this morning.
There you go. There it is.
What's happening West Coast? Hope you're killing your numbers. Yes, I do love the West Coast as well.
There you go.
By the way, can you play that again for them?
No,
in case they
just
know?
stop.
Okay, good.
Just stop. What else? No, just crazy
Great
good
numbers, man.
Speaking of the OC3, we gave them a whole lot of love earlier.
Teresa Mobley. And then Shannon, Let the Music Play McKay is still there, man. She's like,
these two
are
have
just
been
like
1 and 2 all year.
Yeah.
1 and 2 all year.
Man, that's
I think
amazing.
Teresa got her the last 3 months.
Okay.
Shannon will probably come back.
Yeah,
for
they're both struggling, with those numbers. I mean, those are beautiful numbers.
$358,000. Now they don't get paid 14% like you guys do, but they get paid 4%. And I mean, Teresa makes a whole bunch of money. Awesome. Teresa, for anybody who doesn't know her, she was the RAA for the Kentucky region, and she said, you know what? I'm throwing in the towel. I'm going to go sell me some business.
Nice.
And she's been the top seller at the OC3 for I think the last 2 or 3 years. Maybe Jeff can confirm that.
Are we ever going to have one of those two, especially one of those two, Teresa or Shannon? We should bring her on the show just to come by and say hi.
Teresa would like to come on the show and talk to you a little bit.
Yeah,
she wants a piece of you.
Because I harass her too
for
much.
your little smart aleck remarks all the time. But
by the way, some new names though: Devontae Neal, Charles Davis Jr., and Brittany Jackson. New names.
Yeah, I think they're new. Somebody, one of you call center folks, please confirm that.
Yeah, and by the way, can you give my man Juan Felix a call? He's usually on this list. Apparently, he got a little lazy. Get on it, Tim. Call Juan up. What the heck is going on? Where are your numbers?
You can't do that.
You can't hit that. Yeah, I can't do that.
If they take a week's vacation in the summertime at the call center, they can't make that.
I think Juan's getting lazy over at the OC3.
Oh, look at Jeff Steele. Oh, giving the love to Tracy B. and Rodney on the call.
Yeah.
Teresa and Shannon both report to them.
Oh.
So I'm sure Tracy would not be so bold as to take credit for their success.
I think she's trying to take credit.
But Rodney, no, she didn't post that. Jeff posted that.
Oh, Jeff posted, okay.
But Rodney would.
Rodney would?
Yeah, Rodney would. Rodney would try to steal all the thunder.
Gotcha.
All right, let's get into some content.
Let's do it.
So, in my travels and in my observation, I'm just an observer. I creep on all your group me's, and a lot of the regions have set up these rack close challenges, and and I'm going to be kind, Victor, because some of them are, I guess I would say sloppy or need some work, and that's good. And I take it back to all the messaging I've been using this year as I traveled around to the regions and the divisions has been on getting better before bigger, kind of just copycatting Jerry Galoff's message that he delivered to the RMs way back in January. And I think we've got an opportunity to get better with our rack close, to get way better with our rack close through some practice. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. But what I've done is I basically have gone out. If you've not subscribed, I don't need you to subscribe to my YouTube channel, but on my YouTube channel, there are probably 7 or 8 rack closes that I did live. Just speaking into the camera. A couple of them were done intentionally to throw the whole kitchen sink into it, probably more than you would say, but to find your pieces and parts that you could pull out of it that you could then make yours. So what I did over the last couple of days is I took one I did in the Ohio region at a challenge that Steve Genther made. And it was probably 2 or 3 years ago when Steve put the challenge out to his team. Okay. Hey team, post your rack closes on GroupMe and for everybody to see. And I'm sitting in the Atlanta airport trying to make my way back to Ohio when I lived down here a few years ago and just shot one in there. Yep. And what I did with that is I took that off my YouTube channel, which it's all out there. So check those to find out what you want to find out. And I just popped it into ChatGPT and I set it down in a script. Nice. So we broke it down and I put it down that way. And I pulled a couple points out of it and then I pulled a summary out of it that I will share with everybody tonight. And how we're gonna talk about practicing with ChatGPT here in a minute. Right. But my thoughts on the rack close is that I see too many times, and I understand that when you post them on GroupMe, you don't have a whole lot of time and you got to be short. But even in the live role plays that I've been part of over the last few weeks, it gets a little clunky, and I think folks are they're spitting facts and features, and they're not story selling it. They're not pumping it up. Yeah. Because I truly believe that rack is like one of the few things we have as a company. Like everybody can put the CenterCon stations in, everybody can use Thermador, everybody can do all the stuff, can deliver all the stuff that we do. Certainly not at the level that our pros do, but it's a level playing field. They can buy the same CenterCon station, they can tell that same story. Hell, they get the same training from the CenterCon folks that they give us. But I think one of the things that really separates us apart, and we don't focus enough on it, is on rack, because not many of your competitors can offer it. Right. And it's a unique thing, and I don't think we share the uniqueness enough of it. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Why do you think we're hesitant, or some people are hesitant to use rack?
I think it's just practice, and it all gets into this crafting the script. Because I got to tell you, I see Brian Worth popping on the screen there. If you're not at 70% with your rack closure, I promise you are cheating yourself out of commissions. There's no doubt about it. Right. All these folks that are going on this trip, and Brian will be out there in Vail, and Ben will be out there in Vail. All these guys will be out there. Yeah. But they're closing with rack. I don't know what Brian, maybe you can pop it in the chat. I think Brian Worth's rack percent is well north of 80. Like 8 out of 10 deals that he signs are racked, right? And he sells in areas that have money, and all the excuses that we hear that are just because we're not practiced enough on making it flow smooth. Right. And Brian would be the first to tell you. And even on the podcast you did with him, he talked about how he turned on and bumped his sales up considerably when he started using rack more. So you got examples all around you. Yeah. But I want to just break down a couple of things and talk about. I think you have to have a transition to it. Right. And you'll see it in that video I did was 3 minutes. Not even. I think it was 2 minutes and 37 seconds. Was the one that I would recommend to you. And I'll tee it up tonight in my message to y'all. But that was 2 minutes and 37 seconds, and it was off the cuff, and it was one of them deals that I hope you can wake up after you've had 6 or 7 IPAs the night before. If I woke you up at 4 o'clock in the morning, could you jump out of bed and spit your rack close? If you can't, you're not practiced enough. Right. So I think it comes down to really trying to find the sizzle in it. Right. And talk about sure about go ahead. Not so much what you say, but how you say it. Talk about how important that is.
I think, when we talk about how you say things, like everybody can get the facts and the features correct, as Ed says, but there's something about, how you say things and how you bridge into that. And I think as you're finishing your presentation, you're walking through, okay, here's everything we found. That bridge, it's not only what you say, it's how you say it and how you slide into home plate, if I can say it that way. I remember years ago when I listened to Zig Ziglar, you'll love this story if I haven't told it already, is that he taught me the importance of tone and then how do you say things. And he says, I can give one sentence different meanings. And the sentence was, I did not shoot that dog. And that's a statement of fact, he said. Then he says, I did not shoot that dog. That means I didn't do it, somebody else did it. I did not shoot the dog. And that gave it a different emphasis. My point is that how you deliver it with confidence makes all the difference in the world. So if the customer hears you hesitating on the offer, that bridge, believe it or not, there's a part of the brain that just says, it just pulls back if I'm not comfortable. And let me ask you, have you seen it when people are done with their presentation, again, going through everything they found, that they have a hard time bridging into that?
Yeah.
And so you earlier said you had a nice bridge into that. How do you bridge into that?
I think, just think about this and try to get this in your mind and massage this so it becomes your speak, not mine, right? Because I don't do this for a living anymore. But I think when you get down to the end, I think the first thing you got to do before you move to the close is you got to gain agreement that they know that they recognize the problem and they got to do something about it. I think that's one of the things that Cliff teaches the best, and Ben would be a testament to that. Yeah. You got to get agreement that they got a problem. And we got a problem. We got to do something about it. Okay, but, one of the coolest things about doing business with us, the only thing we have left to talk about, Victor,
that line
is how we settle up. That is the line I have used for my entire career to tee this up.
Right.
The only thing we have left to talk about is how we settle up.
Right.
You agree there's a problem, we got to fix, I got it. The only thing we got left to talk about is how we settle up.
Right.
This is what my customers love the most about doing business. Not just jumping into the payments. I think we get too busy selling payments. Yeah. This is what my customers love the most about doing business with Orkin. And then you spin into it.
Right.
And I think the one thing you've got to do, and I think everybody stumbles with it, is I think you got to slide in very subtly that there's a credit check.
Right.
Based on a short approval process.
Right.
Based on a short approval process. And I don't slow down and stop and wait for feedback. Based on a short approval process, we will get you approved for 90 days, same as cash.
And I want to emphasize, this is important. So you said short approval process. You didn't say credit check.
Yeah.
Because credit check, alarm, right? But as soon as you say approval process, it's almost like a euphemism for the same thing. But also by inserting the word short, because imagine you don't say short, you say credit check or approval process. In the customer's brain, they're thinking, well, how long is this going to be?
Amen.
What's required? But as soon as you say short, you reduce that anxiety in their brain because they're going, okay, if he says short, it must be simple. Short equals simple.
Well, I think it's back to your block and objections book too. I mean, the very first thing we started talking about with you 13 years ago is if you don't share that there's going to be an approval process and you don't check that box before you move forward, and you slide that iPad over and ask them to sign on the credit app, they're like, are you going to run my credit?
Yeah.
And every wall in the world comes up.
Yep.
But if you just tell them there's a short approval process, they'll get that, right?
Yeah.
It just moves.
You hit it. And that again, to give it the psychological feel, it's you trigger that flight mechanism. The amygdala goes into flight mode as soon as you do that. If you didn't prep them.
Yeah. About the only thing we got left to talk about is how we settle up.
Yep.
Yeah. Most of my customers, they love doing business with Orkin for this very reason.
Yes.
Figure out your own verbiage and your own wordage around it. Mine changes a little bit. I think Brian Worth would tell you the same thing about his. It changes and Ben's changes. But at the end of the day, you got to cover a couple of things, right? You got to tell them that we are so confident. And I don't hear this in many of these pitches. We are so confident in the work that our pros do. That Victor, we do something unheard of in the service industry. We don't require any money up front. There's one young kid up in Chicago that says, put your checkbook away. You don't need your checkbook. We are so confident in the work. You got to spin that story.
Right.
We're so sure of ourselves that we don't require any money up front. We will defer all that payment up to 45. I always use 45 to 90 days because they may come back and need to have a down payment, which will get them in the 45. If they get declined, they're going to get declined. But spinning that process and slowing that down and then moving it into what's going to happen. Before we settle up, three things are going to happen. My boss, who's been killing termites in San Diego for 22 years, is going to come out. He's going to check the job. He's going to check the job for a couple of things. Number one, that it meets Orkin's high standards, and certainly that it passes all the state standards. Number two, I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Yep.
Way back when, there was a time where I sold more units than anybody in the company, right? I mean, I had that big plaque, right? I got that big plaque one year here, right? The big plaque, right?
The big.
And folks, I promise you, if I didn't go back to every customer, I went back to at least 85% of them because I promised it in my pitch.
Right.
Not because some manager told me I should go back and QA these things, but I would go back and I tell them that. My boss is coming back, then I'm coming back. You and I are sitting at the table tonight.
And that's comforting.
It should be.
Very comforting.
It's worked well for me.
Yep.
I'm going to come back and check the work because the easiest way I figured out to make sure we're delivering the goods, I'm going to come back. I'm going to take a whole bunch of after pictures and share with you the befores and the afters, right? And then third and probably the most important thing that's going to happen is before you give us a nickel, you are going to be completely satisfied with the service and the results that service renders before you give us a nickel.
Right.
And I think when you tie it in that way, you got to bring it. I mean, you got to step up because man, it's go time.
Right.
And you got to separate yourself. Nobody else can say what you're going to say.
Yep.
And even if they have it, if you perfect this to say it like nobody else can say it, close the door.
Right.
Who wouldn't want to do business with somebody like that?
Yeah.
And then you just work into that, and you reinforce the promise, and you do all that, right?
Do we have a somewhere documented the golden rack close? If
You know, we messed around with a whole bunch of
Right.
them. And again, I think you got some parameters. I think when I
Right.
serve this out tonight, you'll see the
Right.
parameters of what
Okay.
you got to bake into it.
Right.
I think, you know, the 40 folks that we'll have out in Vail
Yeah.
all have a little different spin. You know, I mean, if
I
you
would
line
love
them
to-
up and you ask.
I love to hear them. You
Well,
know,
I
like
mean,
just compare them, see what they do.
A little tweak, because
yeah.
you got to make this stuff your own.
Yeah.
It can't come across scripted. It's got to be practiced. That whole thing, I'm serious. I'm dead serious about waking up in the middle of the night
Yeah.
and being able to spit this.
Yeah.
If you can't, you aren't practiced, you aren't a pro,
Yep.
you're not invested in your game, if you can't just roll with this thing. I've
Yeah.
been sold termite business for a living for
Right.
20 years, 25 years.
It has to be programmed.
Yeah.
You know, you can't think about it.
Yeah.
Like if you have to think about it consciously, you don't have it down. By the way, Brian Ward says 80%-ish, and then Ben Dietz thought he won up.
Oh, he won up them. Yeah. But
so
both those guys, they're going to be out.
But you know what
in-
kills me about his number?
Huh.
He had to throw in the 85 would have been enough. But no, he had to throw in the 0.5
Well, he
after
should
the
have
85.
He should have
really?
used
Really,
Gary
dude?
Hubbard math and rounded it up there, Ben. Come on, brother.
I mean, really?
Come on.
Just like, yeah, let me just, I'm better.
Yeah, and even when you see their clothes, it'll be a little bit different. But
Yeah.
the important here is I'm going to do two things for you tonight. I'm going to send that script.
Yep.
What I did is I took that script on that YouTube video that I did for the Ohio region, that 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I popped it into ChatGPT. I plugged it in there. I scripted it out, and then I asked for a summary script of the summary to hit the highlights. I'm going to share that with them tonight. But I think more importantly, I want you to share with them how you can practice with ChatGPT
Yep.
these very things, these objections, these I want to think
Yep.
about it. Any of these objections, how you can practice with yourself
Right.
using this tool. You don't need somebody else to play with.
Yeah, and so let's highlight two things. Let me go with the first thing. You can actually input in the ChatGPT, and we'll talk about what that is in just a bit if you're not familiar with it. You know, what is the rack close, right? You can highlight. You can also put in to ChatGPT what are the typical objections you would get. And then once you've loaded that up, then you can use ChatGPT. Let's go to the slides. So, for example, hit the slide. Now.
Stormy fall asleep on it?
Yeah,
Sure.
there you go.
Yes.
All right. So, by the way,
Hey, what's that?
if you've never used ChatGPT, here's where you would find it. You go to openai.com. And again, by the way, let me know if you use anything aside from ChatGPT. Do you use Perplexity, Claude, Gemini from Google? So here's what OpenAI looks like. And this version is free. And basically, you're going to be able to type into the actual search box there, the prompt box, any type of prompt you want. So the first prompt we would type in is, let's ask it to role play it. So I'm going to type in, you, ChatGPT, are the residential homeowner. Role play a salesperson calling on you or doing a presentation. You'll play the homeowner, I'll play the salesperson. Give me time to respond to each of your questions and objections. My goal is to close you using rack. Keep the role play to 5 minutes. Yeah. So that's one way to do it. Now, if you're saying to yourself, well, I just don't know what to enter, well, great. We got another solution. You can have the machine role play itself. You can give both roles. Say you're the salesperson and you're also the homeowner. Role play the situation with a close on rack, and now the machine just starts role playing. And what I like about that is that sometimes you don't have the verbiage or maybe the words that you want to use. You can use this to actually kind of give you that. And again, what's the biggest sin in selling? Practicing on your clients.
Exactly.
Practice with the machine.
Yeah, and I think it takes away that pressure. Everybody gets kind of, even myself, when I get in these live role play scenarios, I get a little nervous, right? Like,
Everybody
oh my
does.
God, it's coming around to me.
Yeah,
it's going to be my turn. What am I going to say?
Everybody does.
Blah, 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 blah. But you can do this all by yourself. You can do this all by yourself. These tools that are out there, I keep encouraging you to get involved with these tools.
By the way, Matt and Ryan are using Copilot.
There you go.
And by the way, if you guys are trying to use Copilot, the stuff you guys are rolling out, because I've talked to Tim, and the stuff you guys are rolling out is like, man, you guys are on a good track.
Amen.
Like, Tim is driving this one hard, and I think he's doing a great job.
Yeah, and Copilot,
Yeah.
Copilot is based with ChatGPT 4.
Yep.
And they're moving it to 5 now.
Yep.
I mean, that's a giveaway there.
Yep.
But the message that I send out every night, folks, I don't hit a keyboard. I don't type a single thing. I pay the $20 for ChatGPT, and I just say into my assistant. I called her Norma in honor of my mom. And he said, Normie, help me out. I got to get a message tonight based on what I want to talk about. And I just spit it into there. It starts to push out the content. Okay, I don't like that. Tweak that. Make that sound a little bit more like me.
Yes.
Put a little Edism in there, because now it knows me. It started to
Yes.
understand who I am and how I communicate. But you think about that. You think about, we've gone through the sales tracks of I want to think about it.
Yep.
That's all baked. You've got that out on the academy. What if you put that track in there and then you just role played, I want to think about it? Because that's one that comes up all the time with these folks, right?
The best way to use, like ChatGPT or any other one, Copilot, is to use it in voice mode.
Yeah.
Because it's like a dialogue you can have. And it's a great experience. Yeah. But what I love about it also is you can be driving to a customer location, you know what I mean, and still have the conversation, maybe warm up on some things. So yeah,
absolutely.
Pay the $20, it's worth it.
Yeah, and I like I said, I'll tee all that stuff up tonight for these folks, and we'll get out of here. But if you are not at 70% personal rack market share, I promise you're cheating yourselves out of commissions. And I'll leave it at that. Let's do some housekeeping. Obviously, we talked a little bit about it on the call today, Victor. There's going to be a whole bunch of the folks that are on this call in Vail, Colorado in a couple of weeks out there at the Four Seasons Hotel. Come on, I've never been to Vail. I am super stoked about going out there.
So am I.
And probably more important about catching up with the people that I miss across the country. The contest for next year's trip, we just shot the promo. I was just involved in shooting the promo for where we're going. The next September, that will be released to the folks that attend the trip in September.
Right.
So that'll be the release. We shot it today. It may be like the greatest site. Just kind of pumping up the promo.
Right.
The greatest site that we've ever gone to for an Orkin rack trip.
Oh.
And I'm just going to leave it at that. So.
By the way, I'd just like to make a public service announcement.
Don't tell them.
Wait. No. If I've harassed you on this podcast, on this broadcast, and you're going to be in rack, just know that I was just kidding.
Yeah, Victor's going to be there. So if you want to get even with Victor, you can punch him right smack in the nose. So
I was just kidding.
Ben, you can come get
I was
him.
just playing with you. That was it.
It's kind of weird, like when I go to all these trips, a rack trip and the President's Club trip, they think like you're part of me, like you're an appendage or something.
Yeah.
Like, where's Victor at? I said,
where's your other half?
What am I, chopped liver? So, no, Victor will be there, which is going to be kind of cool. Yep. We got something really interesting planned for you out there. If you have not, please, come over here, Stormy. I need your help. Will you please help me? We sent a University of Tennessee Chattanooga sales survey out only to our salespeople. Didn't send no managers, nobody above your pay grade, just the people that are out there in the streets getting after it, both our commercial, our residential, and our call center agents. We sent you a survey a couple of times already. The response has been just, quite frankly, just crappy. We really need you to get in there. It takes about 15 minutes to do. This is my personal plea to you, to please find 15 minutes in your day, 15 of your 1440 over the next 3 or 4 days to submit to get that survey done so we can get the data that we need to try to help shape the direction of the sales organization of this company from the folks that are out there getting after it every day. If we wanted to get managers' opinions, we would have surveyed the managers. We want and need to hear from you. So as a personal favor, please get after that. And if you have not checked out this Richard Blaze Bug Bites video yet, where these guys, him and Ian Williams is our entomologist.
Wrong.
You know what I loved about Ian Williams? You guys are going to love this. I loved it. When I saw him pop out with the red epaulets, the black tie, all buttoned up, my heart fluttered, Victor, because that's how we should be showing up. Put your ties on and look the part.
Don't you think that's a bit much? Your heart fluttered?
$80 million in advertising.
I mean, you say that to your wife. You don't say that about an Orkin guy. Your heart fluttered.
My heart did flutter.
Yeah,
we spend $80 million promoting this image.
Okay, so I guess your heart...
We should show up that way.
Yes.
But the video's crazy, and even funnier.
It's disturbing.
It's the reaction stuff.
What did they cook in there? What did they cook in there?
They cooked crickets. They put ants on ice cream. The scorpions. They cooked when they cooked this tarantula, and they like a tarantula sushi roll. These big hairy legs are hanging out of it.
Who are you people?
I don't know, man, but it's crazy.
Yeah.
And if you caught up on the play that Jerry Galoff had with the president of Truly Nolan, I mean, he just like knocked her down. She posted some video up on her.
By the way, I did talk to Jerry about this, and he said this will be one of the main meals served at the rec conference.
Yeah. We're all gonna eat tarantulas put together by Richard. And from what I understand, they commented yesterday. He's from San Diego somewhere out there. Super cool dude. I'm not, as you know, I'm not a big TV watcher, but my wife knew who he was, and my kids knew who he was.
Wow, okay.
And my daughters, who are very critical of our social media, said, finally, you guys got your stuff together. So it's going to appear in all kinds of shorts, but that's all I have today. I certainly appreciate the dickens out of what y'all do all the time. It's proud to be able to sit to share your stories.
You should have said, "You guys make my heart flutter."
Well,
that's what he should have said.
Why
you know, that's what you should have said to them.
All right, we're getting out of here. He's drunk and dizzy. See y'all. Thank you. See you
Take
soon.
care.
See a bunch of you soon.